waited on the marble beneath the hallway light. A single black envelope delivered late at night. No name upon the corner, no seal I could explain, but every curve of silver ink still moved the way you signed my name. I should have left it unopened, I should have let the silence stay, but some doors look like endings until you turn the key their way. The invitation came in black, with midnight pressed into the page. It called me to a gallery where love was hanging in a frame. The invitation came in black, no promise and no warning sign, just one address, 1 hour, and handwriting I knew was mine. It said the doors would open when the city clock struck 12. Formal dress, no photographs, and come entirely by yourself. I poured a little bourbon, let the ice dissolve and shine, then read the final sentence twice. Come see what once was yours and mine. The room grew still around me, but my pulse began to rise. Old memories wore evening clothes and stood behind my eyes. The invitation came in black, with midnight pressed into the page. It called me to a gallery where love was hanging in a frame. The invitation came in black, and every word pulled at the past. I had buried you with dignity, but some graves do not hold fast. I chose the dress you never saw, deep crimson cut with grace, not to make you want me back, but to meet you face to face. I placed the card inside my bag, beside the key you once returned. Some women walk toward fire, not because they never learned, but because they know the difference between surrender and a flame. And I would rather face the truth then let your shadow keep my name. The invitation came in black, so I stepped into the rain. The city opened like a wound, then closed behind me once again. But I arrived in red and gold. You thought the night would frighten me, you had forgotten I was bold. The invitation came in black and led me to your hidden arts. You had framed our love for strangers, but but you never owned my heart. At 12, the gallery doors unlocked, the chandelier turned pale. I handed over the invitation and walked inside the tale. The first room smelled of roses, old varnish and red wine. Soft footsteps crossed the marble, while strangers studied every line. Then underneath a narrow spotlight, beyond the velvet cord, I saw myself in crimson, and my portrait faced the door. She looked as though she knew me, though I had changed with time. Her painted eyes held questions that had once belonged to mine. The artist caught the evening you first asked me to stay. One hand rested on the window, the other held your name. My smile was calm and trusting, my shoulders proud and sure. But while the room admired her beauty, my portrait faced the door. My portrait faced the door, like she had waited there for years, listening for my footsteps through the laughter and the cheers. My portrait faced the door, while the whole room praised your art. They saw a woman dressed in red. I saw the moment you took her heart. A small brass plate beneath her read the woman who remained. You had turned my love to legend and removed yourself from blame. No mention of the mornings when you left without a word. You painted only my devotion and framed what you preferred. I moved closer to the canvas till her eyes were level with mine, and whispered, "You can stop waiting. He was never worth your time." My portrait faced the door, like she had waited there for years, listening for my footsteps through the painted me as faithful, soft enough to be controlled, a beautiful, patient woman who would never dare grow cold. But paint cannot hold a heartbeat, and a frame cannot decide what becomes of any woman once she learns how much you lied. So I stood beside my younger face, no longer asking what went wrong. She had waited in your gallery, but I had already moved on. My portrait faced the door, so I turned it toward the room. Let the strangers meet her sorrow, let them see beneath the bloom. My portrait faced the door till I placed one hand against the frame. You could keep the painted memory, but you could never keep my name. My portrait faced the door as I walked deeper through the hall. She remained beneath your spotlight, but she did not wait at all. Behind me, music filled the room. A distant glass was poured, and somewhere in the quiet, my portrait watched the door. A string quartet was playing with a marble staircase curled. Silken diamonds fill the room with the quiet wealth of another world. Beneath a crystal chandelier, you stood among the crowd, one hand around a champagne glass, your laughter warm and loud. Then your eyes met mine across the room, and recognition crossed your face. But you turned toward the man beside you, as though I had never known your embrace. The bubbles rose like secrets, then vanished at the rim. I knew the man beneath that tailored suit, though you pretended not to know me. Champagne beneath the chandelier, gold reflections everywhere. You raised your glass to perfect strangers, while our history filled the air. But your trembling made me understand. A woman in a silver gown leaned softly on your arm. You gave her that familiar smile, polished smooth with borrowed charm. She asked you who I was. When she caught you looking twice, you answered with a careless shrug, then kissed her cheek to hide the lie. I could have crossed the ballroom and spoken every hidden truth, but I would not turn my dignity into entertainment for the room. The violins grew softer. The midnight hour drew near. You could deny me with your mouth, but your silence brought me clear. Champagne beneath the chandelier, gold reflections everywhere. You raised your glass to perfect strangers, while our history filled the air. Champagne beneath the chandelier, cold and shining in your hand. You acted like we had never loved, but your trembling made me understand. Do you remember cheap red wine on the floor of my old room? No crystal lights, no tailored nights, just two hearts and one perfume. You said wealth could never change you, that success would leave you true. Now everything around you sparkled, except the honest part of you. Champagne beneath the chandelier, I lifted up my glass alone, not to the man who once adored me, but the strength that I had grown. Champagne beneath the chandelier, you watched me drink and turn away. For all the art upon your walls, you could not paint the past away. Champagne beneath the chandelier, your perfect evening lost its shine. You could introduce me as a stranger, but you could not erase that you were mine. The orchestra moved into another song. The guests returned to cheer. I left one untouched glass behind, beneath the chandelier. Beyond the crowded ballroom, a narrow passage turned into a room of charcoal walls, where one low candle burned. A painting waited in the center, veiled in burgundy and lace. When the curator uncovered it, I recognized our secret place. The window from that winter, the velvet chair, the falling rain. Every detail held our history, till I looked beneath the frame. Her name was written on the frame, where mine had once belonged. You gave another woman credit for the love that made you strong. Her name was written on the frame, in letters polished bright. You stole the colors from our story, then signed her into my life. She stood inside the painting, wearing my forgotten pearls, holding the book I gave you like it came from her own world. The roses on the table were the ones you brought that spring. Even the gold around her finger was shaped like my old ring. A cup of praise, the tenderness the artist seemed to claim. They called it new devotion, while her name rested on the frame. Her name was written on the frame, where mine had once belonged. You gave another woman credit for the love that made you strong. Her name was written on the frame, in letters polished bright. You stole the colors from my story, then signed her into my life. I heard your footsteps near me, but I never turned around. Some truths arrive like thunder, others never make a sound. You said it's only art now, it means nothing anymore. But your voice broke on the sentence like a glass against the floor. I asked who chose the title. You stared down at your shoes and said she helped you finish what you were too afraid to lose. I smiled without forgiving and answered calm and plain. She may have finished your painting, but I survived the pain. You can't repaint the evening, change the woman, change the dress. You can varnish over betrayal till the surface looks possessed, but underneath each borrowed color, under every golden stain, there is still a first impression that no hand can paint again. I was there before the gallery, before the critics knew your name. You may rewrite the little plaque, but truth does not require a frame. Her name was written on the frame, so I took one final look at every piece of my own history. You had borrowed like a book. Her name was written on the frame, but the picture could not lie. She was standing in my memory, wearing someone else's into the next room while you remain beside your shame. The portrait kept her borrowed face, and the frame kept her name. You bit on someone else's heart. The auctioneer stepped forward beneath the velvet light. The room grew still as servants raised the portrait into sight. She wore a dress of emerald with one hand across her heart, a beautiful composed illusion made expensive by your art. The first bid came from somewhere near the tables dressed in white. Then you lifted up your number without looking left or right. You never fought that hard for us. You never reached that high. But for a painted woman, you were ready to outbid the night. You bid on someone else's heart, raised the price with every breath, bought the shape of new devotion, while our old love starved to death. You bid on someone else's heart, like affection could be sold. You wanted beauty you could own, more than love you had to hold. The numbers climb like fever, 10,000, 20 more. Every hand around the ballroom slowly vanished from the war. Still, you kept your number lifted, calm behind your tailored pride, while the woman in the portrait looked more captive with each rise. I remembered all the evenings when I asked you just to stay. You said love should not be measured. Now you priced it anyway. You bid on someone else's heart, raised the price with every breath, bought the shape of new devotion, while our old love starved to death. You bid on someone else's heart, like affection could be sold. You wanted beauty you could own, more than love you had to hold. Going once for your desire, going twice for your disguise, sold beneath the chandelier to the richest of your lives. When the final hammer landed, polite applause filled up the room. She leaned closer to your shoulder while the orchids shed perfume. You signed your name in silver, then accepted every praise, as though possession proved devotion, as though money proved your grace. But I saw the hunger underneath you, the fear behind your charm. You collected lovely objects because real love could do you harm. You could buy the frame and canvas, you could purchase every line, you could hang her in your bedroom and tell yourself that she was mine. But a heart is not a painting, it will not stay because you pay. It cannot thrive behind red velvet or remain when trust decays. You never loved the woman, only how she made you seem. And every treasure that you gathered left you poorer than before. You bit on someone else's heart, and the room believed you won. But I watched you by a shadow while the living woman moved on. You bit on someone else's heart till no rival dared compete. Yet the love you could not purchase walked directly past your seat. You bid on someone else's heart with your fortune held on high, but you could not place a value on the woman saying goodbye. The painting left beneath a cover, the guest returned to art. You paid a fortune for her portrait and lost the costliest heart. At the end of the west corridor, a velvet curtain breathed. Behind it waited one locked room no guest was meant to see. The curator turned the brass key and quietly stepped aside. Red light spilled across the floor like something wounded still alive. Your letters lined the darkened walls, my photographs beneath. Every relic of our love affair displayed like sacred history. The room remembered everything except the way you left. It kept the flowers and the vows, but hid the emptiness. The red room held our life, dressed in roses framed in gold. Every beautiful deception made the broken story whole. The red room held our life for the strangers passing through. They saw a love that lasted forever. They saw what you refused to tell was true. My blue dress stood behind the glass, beside your evening coat. A silver plaque described the night you first asked me not to go. They played the song from my hotel on a record soft and low, but no one heard the final words you whispered before you chose to go. There were tickets from the opera, a key from room 19, a dried magnolia in a book, and every place that we had been. You had preserved the evidence, but edited the pain. You kept the night I gave you love and cut away the morning rain. The red room held our light, dressed in roses framed in gold. Every beautiful deception made the broken story whole. The red room held our light for the strangers passing through. They saw a love that lasted forever. I saw what you refused to tell was true. Two hearts divided by ambition, that was written by the door. Not one word about the woman you had already loved before. An unfinished great romance, another little plaque declared. You made betrayal sound like tragedy, and absence sound like care. You entered without warning and stood beneath the crimson light. Said, I built this room to honor what we had before that night. I answered, honor tells the whole truth. It does not polish what went wrong. You made a shrine from my forgiveness so your guilt could look like love. Your face went pale beneath the color. Your careful story lost its glow. A room can hold 1,000 memories, but it cannot make them so. The red room held our light till I opened every shade. Morning crossed the walls and ribbons and exposed the part you never framed. The red room held our light, but the truth walked out with me. You could keep your curated version, I would keep my history. The red room held our light, like a heart afraid to heal. Then I left the door wide open so the whole world saw what was real. The record turned without a listen. The red flowers lost their shine. You remained among the souvenirs, but the truth was finally mine. I took my name off the painting. The gallery had emptied from the room of crimson walls. Only midnight and the paintings stayed to listen in the halls. My portrait waited quietly beneath its private light, with your version of our history engraved in polished white. You had called me your great sorrow, your unfinished masterpiece, as though I had been created just to make your guilt look deep. I reached beneath the wooden frame and found a little plate. 2 silver screws were all that held my name beneath your claim. I took my name off the painting, let the empty brass remain. You could keep the face you borrowed, but you could not keep my name. I took my name off the painting, from the story you designed. You had captured my appearance, but my life was never yours to sign. The woman on the canvas still wore red against the dark, still carried all the tenderness you mistook for being weak at heart. Her lips were painted silent, her hands were folded small. You had made her look like someone who would never leave at all. But I knew the breath behind her, I remembered who she was. She had loved without surrender, till you turned her trust to dust. A portrait cannot answer back, a woman can and will. Pain may stay where you have placed it, but a soul refuses still. I took my name off the painting, let the empty brass remain. You could keep the face you borrowed, but you could not keep my name. I took my name off the painting, from the story you designed. You had captured my appearance, but my life was never yours to sign. You found me near the staircase with a nameplate in my hand, asked me not to spoil the evening for the patrons and your friends. You said that portrait made me famous, it belongs to history now. I said, then tell them who you painted and what you left outside somehow. Tell them how I built your courage when no gallery knew your. How you painted through my patience, then sold tickets to my heart. A name is more than lettering, more than silver, wood, or gold. It carries every road a woman walked when no one saw her go. You can imitate my profile, you can memorize my eyes, you can mix the perfect color for the dress I wore that night. But you cannot paint the morning when I learned to choose myself, and you cannot paint my freedom like a trophy on your wall. No label beneath me, no title above, no artist can own the woman here. what mattered best. The canvas watched me cross the hall as dawn approached the pane. You kept the woman in the painting, but I walked out with my name. Guests had filled the ballroom with their diamonds and perfume. The slow piano rested in the corner of the room. You found me by the staircase with my name played in my hand, and asked me for a private word, like I might still understand. But every eye had followed you, every whisper across the floor. You had turned our private history into something they could watch once more. I would not cry beneath your spotlight. I would not break to make you shine. No applause for a goodbye, no curtain falling from the sky, no strangers watching me forgive you while you perform another lie. No applause for a goodbye, no final kiss beneath the light. Some endings need no grand occasion. Only one woman leaving right. You said you never meant to hurt me. You only painted what you knew, that every frame and exhibition was your way of honoring what we knew. I answered, love is not an exhibit, pain is not a work of art. You do not earn redemption by selling pieces of my heart. The room became so quiet, even crystals seemed to hear, but I kept my voice composed and never offered you a tear. No applause for a goodbye, no curtain falling from the sky, no strangers watching me forgive you while you perform another lie. No applause for a goodbye, no final kiss beneath the light. Some endings need no grand occasion. Only one woman leaving right. You reached to take my fingers, I moved them from your hand. A gesture small and graceful, but clear enough to understand. The woman in the silver dress turned slowly toward the wall. The auctioneer stopped speaking, and the musician ceased to play. You waited for a scene from me, a wound the crowd could recognize. But heartbreak does not owe a man a beautiful night. I could have named your betrayals one by one before the room. Could have opened every letter, let your reputation bloom. But vengeance is another frame that keeps a woman in the past. I would rather leave you speechless than give your evening one more act. So keep the critics and collectors, keep the chandeliers above. They may celebrate your paintings, they will never call it love. No applause for a goodbye. I simply met your searching eyes, then turned away with all the silence you had mistaken for goodbye. No applause for a goodbye, no final speech and no reply. You lost me without music, without one hand raised in the night. No applause for a goodbye. Still the whole room understood. A woman does not need an audience to leave a man for good. The piano found another melody. The guests began to breathe. There was no applause behind me when I chose myself and left. The final guests were leaving. Their voices faded down the stairs. White gloves gathered empty glasses from the tables and the chairs. A clock above the entrance struck 3:15. The gallery lost its glamour when the crowd could no longer see. The curator walked slowly with a silver ring of keys, then closed the velvet curtains and brought the evening to its knees. One room at a time, one memory at a time. The dark touched every masterpiece, and nothing lost its shine. First he dimmed the auction hall where you purchased her painted heart. The golden frame disappeared, but I could still recall each part. Then darkness crossed the ballroom where you denied you knew my face. No chandelier could hide you now, no music offered grace. He reached the crimson corridor and paused outside the room where you had dressed our wounded past in roses and perfume. The curator turned out the lights, and every lie lost its disguise. Without the gold, without the glow, the truth was all that stayed alive. The curator turned out the lights till every portrait left my sight. was only canvas in the night. My younger face went dark at last behind the wooden frame. The silver plate was missing because I had reclaimed my name. You stood beneath the exit sign, no patrons at your side. Without that praise around you, you look smaller than your pride. You asked me for one final moment before the doors were chained, but I had spent enough for midnight explaining what your choices changed. One room at a time, one sorrow lost its claim. The dark did not erase me, it only cleared your name. The curator turned out the lights, and every lie lost its disguise. Without the gold, without the glow, the truth was all that stayed alive. The curator turned out the lights till every portrait left my sight. You looked immortal in the evening, was only canvas in the night. Some people fear the darkness because it takes away applause, because no crowd remains to tell them they were noble without cause. But I welcomed every shadow, every silent, empty wall. The darkness made the paintings equal and made your empire small. No red room, no grand collection, no velvet rope between. Just one man beside his memories, and one woman leaving clean. Hey, the curator turned out the lights, the last gold doorway faded black. You remained inside your gallery, I felt no reason to look back. The curator turned out the lights and placed the keys inside his coat. The night released each pain and promise that had once been at my throat. The curator turned out the lights, but morning waited past the glass. You had built a home from yesterday. I was stepping toward what lasts. The building settled into silence. The rain had finally stopped outside. The curator turned out the lights, and I walked onward through the night. I changed inside the ladies' room while midnight lost its hold. Left the crimson dress behind me with its memories stitched in gold. I chose a gown of quiet white, no jewels against my skin, and stepped beyond the mirror door and let the morning enter in. The gallery stood empty, every guest had gone away. Only across the marble where your shadows used to stay. I will walk through the empty hall, past the paintings on the wall. Not a bride and not a widow, not your masterpiece at all. Every step became forgiveness. Every breath restored my name. I passed the room of champagne where you had turned your eyes. The crystal glasses looked so ordinary without music in disguise. I crossed the place of auction where you bought a painted heart. The velvet chair stood vacant like the ending of a play without an audience. Then I reached my former portrait, dark beneath the fading night. The woman dressed in red remained, but I was walking dressed in white. She belonged to what had happened, I belonged to what came next. I walked through the empty hall, past the paintings on the wall. Not a bride and not a widow, not your masterpiece at all. I walked through the empty hall, every step became forgiveness. Every breath restored my name. You followed from the staircase, but your footsteps stayed behind. You called my name once softly like a key you hoped would turn my mind. I never stopped or answered, I had nothing left to prove. There are moments when a woman does not need revenge to move. The white cloth brushed the marble like a tide across the floor, and every room I passed through needed me a little less than before. White was not surrender, white was not forgetting pain. It was every color gathered after surviving every stain. It was silence without weakness, it was mercy without return. It was peace that has no permission from the man who made me burn. I had entered dressed for battle, ready to uncover lies, but I left with no more armor and the morning in my eyes. I wore white through the empty hall, and the ceiling seemed to rise. All the flames that once confined me could no longer hold my life. I wore white through the empty hall, past your final work of art. You had painted my reflection, but you never knew my heart. I wore white through the empty hall till the doorway filled with dawn. You could keep the woman from the canvas, I was already moving on. I wore white through the empty hall, with my name held in my hand. I had entered as your memory, I was leaving as I shone. I wore white through the empty hall, and walked into the dawn. The night guard crossed the lobby and lifted every chain. Beyond the tall glass entrance, the streets were washed with rain. The city waited quietly in silver, rose, and blue. Then morning touched the marble steps and made the whole world new. Behind me hung your paintings, inside their gilded past. Ahead the waking avenue was wide enough at last. I carry no collection, no souvenir of pain, only my name against my heart and daylight on my face. Dawn opened the museum doors, and I walked out restored, no longer framed by who I loved or what it left me for. Dawn opened the museum doors, the sky became my gallery. I left your painted history and stepped into reality. A baker raised his shutters, a taxi crossed the square, a woman swept the pavement with white flowers in her hair. The ordinary morning felt richer than your gold. No critic had to praise it, no auctioneer could call it sold. I heard the distant traffic like a rhythm starting slow, and every sound reminded me how much life waited below. Dawn opened the museum doors, and I walked out restored, no longer framed by who I loved or what he left me for. Dawn opened the museum doors, the sky became my gallery. I left your painted history and stepped into reality. You appeared beneath the archway, still wearing midnight black. For one uncertain second, I thought you might call me back, but nothing in your silence could reach across the day. You belonged among the shadows. I had finally walked away. I did not need your sorrow. I did not need your sorrow. I did not need revenge. Some endings become beautiful when no one Let the portrait keep the woman who once thought your heart was mine. Let the collectors praise your sadness. Let them call your longing art. They will never know the freedom of the woman outside the frame. I came searching for an answer in every canvas, room and light. The truth was waiting past the doorway, underneath an open sky. Dawn opened the museum doors, and all the bells began. The city did not know my story, still it welcomed who I am. Dawn opened the museum doors. The morning called me by my name. Not the title on your painting, not the woman you could blame. Dawn opened the museum doors, and I left with empty hands. No masterpiece could be more precious than the life I chose to claim. Dawn opened the museum doors. While the sunlight crossed the stone, I entered as your inspiration, but I walked away my own. The doors closed softly behind me. Your gallery disappeared. I turned my face toward morning with no picture and no fear.